this time.
Yep, that was the thing.
So stylish, wow.
Aesthetics.
Yeah. Okay, what is Wario? Wario is ZS. Okay. ZS.
Have you talked about what the Balc was like during big tournaments where there were just like tons of people sleeping on the
Probably
ground?
the craziest thing we've ever done at this house. I don't even know if the bigger Balc's like training day quite matched the big Balc's training day, because for the bigger Balc we had the We Live In venue where we could shuffle some people. Not everyone listened, but enough people listened that the house was not like on fire.
I definitely didn't. It was fun though.
Yeah. But the big Balc training day was probably like one of the coolest days of PM that's like ever happened.
It was so sick.
I think David calls it like the I always forget what it's. God, I always do this where I like bring up this quote and then I forget what it's called. It's like whatever happened in the God damn it.
PM Mecca?
No, it's like the Woodstock. God damn it. The Woodstock of PM.
Makes sense.
Where I don't even know how we did it. The house was so full of people.
Yeah. And
It
you
was
guys
so
decided
bad.
to do like a character round robin. It was so
Yeah.
sick.
That was actually. I've talked to David and Alex. That was the hardest thing we've ever run. Was like we did every character in a round robin. That's 47 round
Yeah, it was
robins.
nuts.
And each round robin had, I think, like 5 or 6 people.
Yeah,
we had 2 round robins for Diddy and Ness. Oh my god.
Yeah.
There were some characters like there's just too many people.
Yeah, there's too many people trying to play Wolf. There's too
Yeah.
many Falcons.
Oh my god. But they were so cool.
It was so good. And there were so many good matchups that came out of it.
Yeah.
Like all the Venom
Dude,
Filthy stuff.
Stereo versus Jose was a
and
sick
that was
set.
so sick.
What a time. I think the Big Balc definitely has a lot of stories.
It was a good one.
Yeah, because I mean that like the whole Big Balc series is just a tumbling mess that ended up being okay.
Yeah.
Because we just did a fundraiser, and we were just like, yeah, we're gonna do this fundraiser. I guess we're flying people out. It'll just be a Big Balc, which was like literally just like a bigger weekly, where like Junebug and Hero of Time and all of them and like Frozen would just come to like this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And too many people wanted to come.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I guess we need a bigger venue.
Yeah, and so I was actually at Final Boss. What up? If we can, if it's not that late, so I think we can. If you don't want to, I'm here. Who's up there?
What's your vote, Ben?
Because there's so many irregular pieces, it would be cool to have them on there. If it was normal Balcony, what's it? But if you want to go home, I respect it. Let's put them on stream. Let's put them on stream.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
It's what the people want, probably.
Yes. So where was I? Oh yeah, so the Big Balc. So yeah.
No.
So yeah, whatever. Have a good night. Yeah, so I'm at Final Boss, and people like Junebug are talking to me, and they're like, so where are you having the Big Balc? And in my head, I'm like, the house? I didn't say that, but like everyone was like, yeah, I can't wait for this tournament. It's going to be such a big deal. And I'm just thinking like,
Like a lot of people.
and they're
per
like,
house.
yeah, no, like a lot of people want to come to this. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. And so I get back, and Alex and I actually tried so hard to think of like, how could we make the house work? Because like a lot of it felt like cheating if we didn't use the house. Like the whole idea is that we're like grassroots as fuck. Like why would we ever go to an
It's
actual?
always been in a house.
Why would we go to an actual venue? And so we like made a plan. It was like, okay, what if we like somehow empty out the garage, some of the rooms, and we have like easy ups in covering the front and back. We could maybe fit like X amount of setups. And we were like, at some point we just looked at each other and we're like, that's not gonna work. Holy shit, we like need way more space. And then of course we went to Cal State Fullerton, which is where the first one is held.
Yeah, that was nice.
Through, oh yeah, I really wanted to use that venue for this year because the size of it is huge.
Oh, yeah, it's super
and it's free.
Yeah,
so
and
we could
it's
do cheap venue.
And it's like expandable.
Yeah. But they will not let us do anything that involves money there. So we would have to make the tournament completely like no pop bonuses, nobody fighting for money. Which obviously a lot of people would bitch about.
Yeah, that's jank.
But yeah, so because the guy who we were supposed to be working with to like reserve that venue was sick. Nobody ever, like, we were told, I know that we were told that, like, that people couldn't do stuff for money, but, like, we kept trying to, like, make, like, stuff happen, workarounds, yada, 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 yada. And because the guy was always sick, it kept getting delayed and delayed. And so 2 weeks before the big Balc was when we actually signed the papers to have the venue.
Coming a little close there, Courtney.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the story of the Balc.
Yeah, pretty much.
It
It's
close
so
the whole
duct
time.
tape, yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, no. The big Balc itself was also, I'm like, having run the bigger Balc, which was like actually so much planning that we did like the months leading up to it. Like the big Balc was actually just pretty like whatever. Like we just kind of like showed up. People brought setups, which was cool, and like I streamed it and it was chill. And I guess it's because it was only PM that it was so manageable. But like
Oh yeah, because other people were in charge of
the
management.
bigger Balc, like let me sit down and tell kids some stories about the bigger Balc. We get through, so the weekend starts with training day, which is literally like couple hundred people here at the house and also at the We Live In venue. And we're like already starting like a 24-hour schedule where like I'm here at like 7 in the morning. I have to clean up the entire house and I have to get everything ready. And Jason is working with David to set up the We Live In venue for those guys.
Yeah.
And so we do that entire day. That's from like 7 and maybe around 11 or midnight is when all the money matches are done, all the crew battles are done. Things are finally finishing up for the training day. And Jason and I have to go and move all of these CRTs to the actual venue for the actual tournament. And so we estimated that it would take a couple hours, but we were like, okay, we're gonna at least get like 3 hours. I was guessing that I would get 3 or 4 hours of sleep. And so as the night is going on, it's looking worse and worse. And at one point I'm like, okay, 2 hours of sleep, bad, but not the worst. Okay, 1 hour of sleep, okay. And then we're like trying to make compromises. We're like, okay, what if we don't drop off like me and him at the house? Like, what if we just like sleep in the car outside of the venue? Then we can save time and sleep. And what ended up happening is I technically slept for 20 minutes in between one of the routes of getting CRTs from here to the We Live In venue, or to the Kaupa'i venue. Jason actually didn't sleep for 24 hours and went on to run the first day of the bigger Balc. And that started off so terribly. Like, not only were we like exhausted, but that night, like the cops of the campus were following us because they thought we were like really sketchy because we're a truck full of old CRTs just like going around the venue. And so one of them pulls us over and I have to talk to him and I'm like, no, we're running an event tomorrow. We need to like drop these off. I really need to sleep. And he's like, I don't know, man. I don't know that you could do that. And he's like, and I'm like, what are you gonna? We had already left like 15 TVs outside the venue, and I'm like, do you want me to move all these? And he was like, no, I gotta make some phone calls. And so we're like waiting for that to happen. I was like, oh my god, that was horrible. And so in the morning, they know that we had already asked them like, hey, like what time should we be there? What time is the venue supposed to open? And they like weren't there to open the venue the morning of the bigger Balc. And I was like, Jesus Christ, we need to get in the venue.
Is that why it kept on getting delayed?
Well, no, because we technically got in time. Like, we were behind on setting up because a lot of our volunteers also hadn't showed up. But technically, we had, like, had all the TVs. It was, like, enough of, like, Justin, David, Jason, and I were there, like, putting TVs on tables and stuff. And then what ended up fucking us is that the power for that venue is set up in such a way that if you put too many power strips in the core, like, middle of that area, it'll just blow out the entire electricity of all the tables.
Yeah.
And so it took us like 2 times to figure that out. And so already we have people pouring in to try to play Smash, and we're maybe like an hour behind, or maybe an hour or 2. And Jason is just like, along with our volunteers, just literally going everywhere trying to find like how to fix this, like there's so many people all over the place, like pouring in from everywhere early. We hadn't actually opened the doors yet, and like people are already playing. So you have to like tell people, hey, you can't play. We're like literally rerouting electricity. And so he gives Big Al $400 and asks him to go and buy like shit tons of electrical equipment because the venue also hadn't given us the electrical equipment that they promised.